We'll give it just another minute or so and then we'll get started. Hopefully you can hear me. Let me check here. All right, I made sure my volume was up there. So it looks like an earthquake there. Yay! All right, great. Thank you. All right, we'll get started. So before we get started coloring, I just wanted to, sometimes people ask, I always stamp in the Wicked Black Crafty Color ink. It works really well, not only for Copics or any other alcohol markers, but also for pencils, with Gamsol if you use that, to blend, like it doesn't smudge. And I have used some of the other colors too. When I used the Donut Worry stamp set, I stamped the frosting in the Raspberry Rose and then colored. And the same with the Granite Gray and the Totally Taupe, obviously, if you want no lines. So it's really nice to be able to stamp in something other than black or even the chocolate, and be able to color and have that line, but not have to worry about blending it. So we're going to use the Snow Buddies. I picked the little snowman right here, and we are going to do snow. So I know a lot of times people aren't sure how they want to color white, but even white has shadows. And so I was going to take you through that. And then I'm going to be using my W5 sparingly, W3, W1, and then W00. And then I like to go in and put a little bit of blue in. So I have the BG 000 and the BG 000 to go in and add a little bit of blue. And then, of course, the colorless blender. I like to blend it out so we don't have any harsh lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my W3, and I'm going to just add the shadow in, like under his scarf here. Or I guess it's her. She has a flower in her hat, so she'll be a her. I'm going to add that in, and then we're going to go in and put the little dotty texture in. But I do want to get the shadow in first, so that I'm trying not to get my big old paw here in the way. So let's see if I can. I like to put this shadow in first because I want to make sure that we keep that there. And then I'll know where to go in and add more. So then we'll use the W1 and we'll blend this out. And then the W00. Ooh, as I throw it across my room here. And this will really help that edge blend out. But we'll still have that nice shadow. And then once I have that, then I'm going to draw in, I'm going to use my W1. I'm going to draw in where I think the curve of that snowball, right, would be. And then I will blend that out. So that it kind of gives that curved texture. Now, some people don't want the blue. So you wouldn't have to add that. But I'm going to go in and do the little dots. I am going to take some W5 and use it just a little bit to kind of come in my darker areas. Like the corners, and give it some texture here. You can always add more, so I do it a little sparingly in the beginning, and then I can come back. And then the W3, so back in those same areas, but going out a little further. And then we'll put some along this little line and some right under this little mitten. So that's the W3. Then we'll take the W1 and we'll do the same thing, pulling it out a little further so these two will start to meet. Down here as well. Around the scarf. And then we will come in around this little curve that we made. And then we will take the 00. Finish this blending. Finish by the scarf. And then we'll bring this down. Kind of blend that through. I'm gonna check. Maybe there are no comments, or maybe my iPad is not working. Let me check on the computer. So already our snowman starts to have some definition. If you wanted this to come all the way around, I usually leave it open a little bit. But really that's a personal choice. Really, that's a personal choice. If you didn't want to add the blue, you could stop right here. I like to go in and add a little bit of blue. I think snow has a little bit of a blue tint to it. So first we're going to take the BG000 and go in and do the same thing. We're just going to add some dots in here. Not too many. We just want to give it a little bit of the blue tint to that shadow. And then we're going to follow it around here. I get a little smaller as we get to the end. And then I will take the 000 and then do the same thing. Just to kind of blend out that blue. We don't want any harsh blue lines or dots. Just trying to give it a little bit of a shadow as well as that color. Same thing over here. And then we will come around and kind of blend that out like that. So can you see we have the shadow, but it has a little bit of a blue tint to it. Let's see if I can lift this up. See if you can see that. So we'll do the same thing on his face. We will start again just with the W3, and we'll, right, her face would be shaded from her hat, and it would be shaded right here from her scarf. And there'd be a little bit under her nose. So then we'll blend that out with W1. Hi! New York and Ontario are here. I'm in Illinois. It's like 22 degrees here today. I don't know what it is where you guys are at. Probably cold too. So that's the W1. Oh, Iowa! You're not too far from me. And the 00 in the W. So we'll blend this out. And then we'll go back in with our dots. You could do dots right away. I just like to put that a little bit of the shadow down first. Michigan! And then I like to go in, and that way I can put just a little bit of the W5, like I already know where I want it, and then I can just put it in a little bit. I can get a little heavy-handed sometimes, so by doing it that way, it helps me not put too much of the W5 down. I want the shadow, but I don't want it to be gray, right? It's a snow woman here we have. But I don't want her to be gray. I want her to have her shadows. And that's kind of what helps me. If you can just do the dots from the beginning, or you don't like the dots and you just want to color it in, whatever works for you. It's just showing you a different way. Or maybe you do it this way. Yeah, I put the blue in after I run through all the grays to just kind of take the gray look away and give it a little bit of a blue. So this is W00, and I'll go in with this, which kind of breaks down some of that color. And like, I think under his nose and stuff, it's a little dark. So then you can come in with your colorless blender and kind of blend a little bit of that out before we do the blue. So that kind of blended that out a little bit. So it still has the shadow, but isn't looking so dark. And then we'll go in with the blue again. So I start with the BG 000. And we'll go in with the dots. Just like we did for his body. And then we will blend that out with the BG 000. And again, if you're like, ooh, that got a little, you know, further out here than I wanted it to, you can go in and just clean that up a little bit. It's so light that it'll really remove quite a bit of it, and I just kind of dot it again to kind of give it that texture. let that dry for a second and then I'll do a close-up. So you can kind of, I think, see, can you see how the shadow, it has a little bit of a blue tint? So you have the shadow, but it's not so gray. Sometimes I think that the white looks a little gray. So it's a way to kind of blend that blue into it and make it not look so gray. And if you want it to be more blue, I don't know why that got blurry. You want, Dorothy, if you want it to be more blue, because we can go over it again. So if you want it to be more blue, take the BG 000 again. And we'll do this curve first. So we'll come in. So you can already see that that's already looking much more blue. So then I will put down a layer. And then we'll come back and dot over it. But we're going to put that layer down to give it a bluer look from the beginning. If you did straight blue without the gray, I don't think it would look as much like a shadow. To me, I don't like it. I like the gray under and then do the blue over the top. All right. So that was the 000. Now we'll take the BG 200 and we will come in, blend that out a little bit. Now, if you like that look, stop. Don't blend it out. There is no right or wrong. It's really going for the look that you like. Then we'll blend this out a little bit. All right. And I'll hold this up. And you will be able to see this is much more blue than the first time we went through it. But it still looks like a shadow as opposed to it being gray or being blue. And you still get that dotty texture from the gray underneath. Hi, how are you doing? So we'll do the same thing then. We'll go back because we put more blue down here so you can see the difference. You'll have to try it. You've never done the blue? Is that what you mean? You like it, Dorothy? Good. Here, we'll do the head now because you can really see the difference now between that second layer of blue and then her, I keep calling him a him, snowman, I guess, her. So we'll do the same thing over her head here. So we'll go in, we'll put that layer of blue down over the gray. And a little bit under the nose. You haven't gray. I like putting a little bit of blue over the gray. I always think that snow is blue, right? Water is blue, so snow is blue. Ice is just not really dark. So by doing that, you need that gray though, I think, underneath, or you kind of lose that shadow. But it kind of gives him a nice look. And then, like, if you don't, I got a little carried away here. I can go in with a colorless blender and kind of just give that some texture, break it up a little bit. And now, not only does the snowman have the shadow where you want it, but it has that blue highlight to it, which is kind of fun. So you have to try it and tell me if you like it or not. Blend out his face a little bit. You can also do what we did down here, you know, up here on his face. Here, we'll add it here. I put the colorless blender on. So I just want to dry it before I add more color. So we could go in here on a little bit of his face, take the W1 and kind of give him a little contour. And then blend that out. Yeah, go stamp. And then we'll take the BG 000 again and kind of blend that out. Hi, Melanie, how are you? And then we will add a little bit of texture to this. Then W1. Hey, Kimmie, how are you? You two are together? What have you guys been doing? We're just adding one of these little curved lines up here to his face. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Michelle. Is it cold where you guys are at? I shouldn't complain. We don't have any snow, but it's been like 20. There's another Michigan. Ooh, the March stamps. Very cold. Creating, eating, laughing. Okay. So what we did, a little bit of snow in Rhode Island. Is we colored the shadow in, then we went back and dotted the shadow in. When we colored it in, we used W3, W1, and W00. Then we dotted it in, we added W5, just in the darkest areas. We got done with that. We used the BG 000 and the BG 200 And we went over that twice to give it a much more of a blue look than that gray. A lot of snow in Michigan. I lived in Minnesota for 5 years, and I have to say I do not miss that snow at all. We don't have it. It's been cold here, but we don't have any snow on the ground. So you can see now that you can really see the blue tint over that gray. But still definitely no. Ooh, tired of shoveling. Yeah, I don't miss it at all. Do you guys normally color snow with just your grays? Like either the W's or the C's? Yep. Do you like it with the blue? You do BGs, Kim? So you do all of it in BGs, no gray? You can do all BGs. I mean, that is a really nice look. I kind of like the two together, but I guess it depends on my mood. I've done just the C's. Give it a try. See if you like it or not. You do the grays too, yeah. It's this kind of, right, truly a mix of both of them. Gets a little darker because you have the gray underneath. I usually grab my W's. They're the most used gray. I like the other ones, but I don't know. I like my W's. So I usually grab those first and then add a little bit of blue in. Any questions? If not, I will leave you to color this adorable set. If you don't have it, you need it. It's Snow Buddies. So, of course, we colored this one. But you also have this one over here. Oops, I'm out of the little frame. Where he's juggling. Oh, yeah. You can match it to your pattern paper. But the little doggy up there on the snowballs, that one's a lot of fun. You're welcome. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It was maybe something you hadn't tried before. You can do just the straight coloring or the dotting or both. I mean, it all looks good. Just something different, right? Oh, I used BG 000 and then BG quadruple 0. So it's the two palest in the BGs. And then I did the C5 or the W5, W3, W1, and W00, and then my colorless blender. Try it, see if you like it. I think it gives a fun look, something different. Hope you guys enjoyed it and that you give it a try. I think the little snowballs would be really fun to put like the curve like on him, to do that on all the little snowballs. Would give it a lot of texture. Would be really cute. All right, well, everybody have a great Monday and stay warm. But at least we're out of that polar vortex. I know it was like minus 44 here, so I'm sure it was colder elsewhere. Have a great night. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.